Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. First off, I want to say thank you so much for all of your feedback on my previous video where I started my 50s, not 50s, childhood memories journal. And I am excited that you guys want to see the whole process because I enjoy filming and explaining everything. So that's what I'm going to do with this project. I'll film from start to finish. So if you have watched the previous video, you remember that I made this chipboard cover with 3 chipboard pieces and duct tape, and it's 6 inches wide by 9 inches tall and has a 1-inch spine, and I'm going to put one signature in there, which can be very chunky, hopefully. And so what I decided, because I made the other one off camera, like the other chipboard cover, I figured, how about I'll make the whole cover off camera, and then the second one, this one, I'll do on camera. So you can see actually what I'm working on. So this is the whole thing. I haven't embellished it yet with my Scrabble tiles. I think I'm going to do this later. But yeah, I just finished this before I turned my camera on. I still have to decide whether I want to put lace in here, or paper, or fabric, or what. I don't know. Maybe I'll use some of that fabric because I have some left. I don't know. We shall see. Anyway, so I used some textured cardstock in here, which I love. Unfortunately, I only had, I think, one left of the red color. Let's see. Just gonna check. Oh no, I have, nope, that's a different one. That's different. Yeah, I think I only had one left. However, my journals don't have to be twins. They can be sisters, right? So for the other one, it could use a blue. I don't have a blue though. I could use a green, one of the greens, or just a wholly, like totally holy, a wholly different, a whole different, totally different paper color. That's fine. So anyway, as I mentioned in the first video, I wasn't gonna be able to sew around this because this chipboard is like 2 millimeters thick, and then I have the batting and I have the fabric, and my needle wouldn't survive that. So because I like the stitching, I came up with an alternative solution, which I will show you today. So as you can see, it's not super straight, but it doesn't bother me. It was really difficult to actually sew this because it was like blind sewing because the fabric. So this is a sandwich of paper, batting, and fabric, and the fabric was longer than the other 2 pieces, so I had to like feel where the border or the edge was, so I knew where I would have to sew. So that was pretty difficult, but hey, it worked out, and the whole thing is super sturdy. I love it, actually. I think it's really worked out really well. Yeah, so that's why I did it off camera, because I wanted to experiment, and so now I can actually show you guys how to do that. All right, but I think on this one I'm not gonna sew like around the front and around the back. I think this one I'm gonna sew the regular way, like just around the whole thing. That's what I usually do with other journal covers. Okay, so what you will need if you decide to do something like this, your chipboard cover or card box cover, you will need some fabric, obviously, or if you don't want to use fabric, you can use paper. My fabric I already cut, so it's bigger than my cover piece, and I could always trim it before I like glue it in here or sew it. It's just, you want to make sure that you have more than you need, because on this one, for some reason, I cut it really short, and I had like tiny little bit on the left and right side, so it was really difficult to actually glue this in and make sure it stayed, but it worked. So cover, fabric, And then you'll want some batting, and this is just regular, like, I don't even know what, if they have like a certain name. I just bought like a big piece off of a roll from Joann when it was on sale. And it's just what you probably would use for a quilt. At least it's what I usually use for quilts. Usually, I haven't quilted in forever, so that's what I used to use for quilts. This should also be the size of your, or a little bigger than your cover. It is, and it does, we're not going to fold this in, so it doesn't have to be like, we don't need a border around it. And then, because, at least in my opinion, I think it's not a good idea to sew this without like something over it, because all the fuzzies will end up in your sewing machine, like where the needle goes in, and I don't want it to get like all messy and dirty in there. And I know I have to like regularly clean my sewing machine, which I haven't done in a while. But yeah, I don't know, I didn't want to risk it. So what I did, I used a piece of newsprint paper. You can use any paper that's thin, just as another layer. And I happen to have this gigantic, I don't even know what size it is, newsprint pad, and I never use it. So this was a good way to use at least 2 sheets, or this is just a third, I think, of the whole pad. So what I did was I put this down. Then I put my spray adhesive. I put a lot on the batting. I did it outside on the porch, and it was cold and windy. And then I glued it onto the paper, and I made sure that it's really glued down really well. And then I came back inside, and once this is glued on, you can actually trim the paper off, so the batting and the paper are the same size, which makes it a little easier to handle. And then I'm not going to do this now because I haven't glued it yet, but then I just lined up like how I would want it on my cover. And then I took, what did I do with it? Oh, this one, my round cutter from when I sew. I used this to cut my fabric. And then I used it to trim this, the batting and the paper. And then once that was the right size, then I did the whole thing again with the spray adhesive, lots and lots of spray adhesive, and then I glued the fabric on there. I didn't spray the fabric, I sprayed this, and it seeped through a little bit, but it dried, so you can't see it, which is great. And then I sewed, but I will show you all the steps. So I'm going to go upstairs now, outside on the porch, and I'm going to spray this, and then I'll come back and show you how I trim this and make sure it has the right size. And then I'll be back. Okay, I'm back. I'm not sure why I always do those projects where I have to go outside in the winter or when it's super cold and windy. Oh, it was so nice to come back inside. Okay, so this is the spray adhesive that I used. And it works really well. Okay, so I'm gonna let this dry a little bit, but for now I can at least cut off the, let's see, the excess paper, because we don't need that much. Oops. Ah. Alrighty. Okay, I don't like these scissors. I have like 12 of them. I bought a long time ago. There was like a box of 12 at Martin's, and it was like $5. I'm like, how can I pass on 12 pairs of scissors? Well, some of them get dull really fast. So, but other than that, they're really, really good scissors. So, okay, so let's see if we have. Yep, this is perfect. Okay, I can just cut this. Okay, so my first thought was, hey, I can just cut around like the whole thing when it's laying down like this. However, that's what I actually did with this. That was the prototype. But then when you fold it up, it was too short because it needs a little more than this width. So what I did, first of all, you need the paper to be on the book itself. So you find a spot where it's like in the middle, and then what I did, I just folded it up, and because there's paper, if you fold it later, you have to fold, and that's actually really helpful once you glue the whole thing onto your book. So that was the first thing I did. That's another bonus of using a paper in there. And you don't have to add the paper if you decide not to add stitching, but I just love the extra texture and the look of the stitching, so that's why I had to add this layer of paper, because I didn't want to sew directly on the batting. Maybe you've done this before, maybe your machine can handle it, then you also don't need the paper, but I decided I want the paper. Okay, so once this is like this, I'll line this up, and then for this one, I would just cut along. It's like using a ruler when you cut your fabric. You just try not to cut into your book cover like I just did. Okay, so at least we have this edge. So now we flip this over, and it's really hard to see for you guys, but my edge is right here. So I am going to cut there. Oh, I'll be right back. Okay, sorry about that. So now I'm just gonna cut along the edge of my cover. Ta-da! So now this will be long enough, and when you open it, you see it's a little wider than my actual cover, which is gonna be fine. And then this one up here, you can just cut when it's open, because it's not gonna shift when you close the book. Same on the other side. You wanna make sure you line it up. Yeah, and don't cut your fingers. I'm an expert in that. I don't recommend it. Okay. And we don't need these leftover pieces. So, now we got this, and it fits perfectly. And now, what I will do outside, to go back upstairs now, you see the glue seeped a little bit through, but you're not going to see this because this is going to be glued onto the cover. Now we are going to, and I ironed the fabrics as best as I could. There's some creases or folds that I just could not get out, but it is what it is. Okay, so, and now I'm going to go back outside, and I'm going to put tons of spray adhesive on this, because you want to make sure you cover the whole thing, because otherwise you will be able to see where the fabric lifts off of this later, and I don't like the look of that. So I made sure that I put a lot of glue on it. Oh yeah, and I bought this at Walmart in the craft aisle, where they have all the different glues. They also have smaller cans if you want to try this out first. But because I've used several cans of the smaller one, I decided, hey, why not buy the bigger one? Okay, so I am gonna go spray this, and want to make sure I keep those folds. And then I'm gonna lay it onto my fabric, like in the middle. So we have lots of room or space around it, around the edge. And then I'm gonna press it down and I'm gonna let it dry for a little bit. And then once it's dry, we can start sewing. But I let it dry, well, I let it dry all afternoon, but I'm not gonna have this much time now, so I'll let it dry for like 10 minutes or so. That should be good. And then I will come back and sew it, and then we can put the whole thing on here. Okay, this is still drying, but it's almost done, I think. And one thing I thought of when I was actually spraying the adhesive on the batting, one spot that you want to focus the glue on is, like on the batting side, is this area, the area of the spine, because if you like open and close it all the time, and if this is not glued down really well, it'll actually come off. Like, you will see that the fabric is not glued down to what's underneath it. So I want to make sure that I put a lot of glue on there and that it will stick really well. Okay, so while this dries, I'm looking at different cardstocks that I have. And unfortunately, this blue doesn't really match this. And this is the closest blue I have. Bummer. But I also found this one. It's not the same, but I thought maybe. I wish I had more of the red because it's a really nice red. So, not sure what to do about this. And I used the American Crafts cardstock. And nothing. This is too yellowish green. Gosh, I wish I had more of the red. Wait, what are you? It seems like this is not even from this package. Maybe it was scarlet. Huh. Oh no, it said it had all these, and these with the little asterisk are just what was used on the project on the front. So maybe that didn't come from here. Because we have this one, which is really like not the same. It's like an apple. For me, it's like an apple red. Yeah. Oh well, so I'm gonna ponder, and then we'll figure it out. Okay, so while this is still drying, I can at least cut a little bit of the excess fabric because I don't need too much. And it doesn't matter if it frays because we're gonna glue this over and then put the cardstock on it, so you know, not even gonna see it. I love like figuring out these things because I have like this vision of this journal cover, like how am I gonna make this possible, like to have the stitching on it without having to sew through the thick chipboard. So that's one of the fun parts about making junk journals, because you just have to be creative and figure out figure out a way to do something so you can actually get to what, like, get the end result that you want. Okay. Ah. Yeah. And I think once I'm done with the covers, I will start putting together the signatures. Like, I have to go through all my papers, and I wish I still had, what did I do with my journal? Huh? Oh. I have to dye some more, copy dye some more paper, because I wish I had these dark ones, but I don't. And, like this one, I love this one. But I did those outside, so I don't know, I don't want to do those in the oven. So Might not be able to do those and just use what I have. Okay, so I think this is fairly dry now. So now I have to sew, but you don't want to sew this flap onto this. You have to sew like this, and you have to figure out where the edge is. And I can see it through here, but once it's on the machine, I can't see through the fabric. So I'll just go by feeling and line it up. And I think I'm still gonna do a zigzag stitch, but I'm gonna go just one, like around the whole thing. So let's do that. I am going to probably fast forward this. I'm gonna film the sewing because I said I was gonna do the whole thing on camera. And then I'll show you when it's done. One more thing, I actually put a piece of washi tape here. That's where I line the paper up, because I can't really see else like where I'm going, because I don't want to go crooked. So while I'm sewing, I'll just flip up the I'm not flipping off the fabric, I'm flipping up the fabric so I can see if my paper sandwich is still aligned on the edge of this washi tape. Better than the other one, because this was really difficult to sew and figure out where the fold was gonna be. So, but I mean, yeah, I think they're both nice. So here you can see how I did. Not too bad. This is the front, and now I can. So this is the whole thing. Not bad. I like it. Okay, so next we will glue this onto the book. I call this the book. This will be the book. We're gonna use the Fabri-Tac, and I gotta see if I can somehow clean it up a little. Oh yeah, that's better, because it took me so much strength to get my glue out earlier. My hand was hurting. That should be a lot better. Okay, so also or again, you want to focus on these two folds. Put lots of glue on them so it stays on here no matter how much you open and close the book. I've learned from previous journals that you can never have enough glue on the spine or edge. Actually, it doesn't matter if you put the glue on here or here. I'm going to put it on here. So let's just start here. And the glue is the only thing that will hold this cover to this book. So that's why you want to make sure you have a good glue and lots of glue. And you're not going to see this seep through because you have the batting and the fabric. So I'm not too worried. Okay, lots and lots of glue. Okay, and then you want to make sure it's lined up, and that you actually, can you see this? That you actually push the whole thing onto that spine. And then I'm just going to hold it like this for a little bit so the glue can grab, and it might take a little longer because we have the duct tape, and the duct tape is more slick than like the cardstock. or the chipboard. The chipboard has more of a tooth, and the glue can grab onto that faster or better. So I'm just gonna hold this for a little bit. Okay, that should do it. And then I'm gonna put the glue on here, and I'm gonna put more glue down here on the edge. So let's, oh, I gotta buy more glue again, huh? And when I did my sewing journal and I like quilted the diagonal, I sewed the diagonal lines, I sewed the whole fabric, I think, onto the cover. Okay, why are you not coming out, glue? And so it would hold, like it held down the whole fabric, but here it's just the glue that's holding it down. So you're probably going to need a lot of glue. Don't want to save on glue here. Alrighty, that should do it. Ugh, ow. And then making sure that the spine is still on the spine, like the cover spine is still on the chipboard spine. Uh-oh, uh-oh. Hey, don't do that. Gluing this down. Okay, and you can see that this doesn't line up 100%, but that's okay, because we're gonna cover, like, put the fabric folded over, and you're not gonna see that. Okay, other side. So I think these are like the most difficult part of the whole journal, or the most, I wouldn't say time consuming, because making all the ephemera and putting the signature together also takes time. But this is, like, for me, I think the most difficult part, because it just involves a lot of precise, you gotta be precise, like, because you want it to all match up and line up and everything. So glad when this is complete. Okay. And then glue on the edge here, on the spine. Okay, I think we're good. Ugh. Almost perfect. Okay, so we only have 2 more steps. Folding in and gluing the fabric, and then gluing in the cardstock. I think I'm gonna go with the blue. Green or blue? Green or blue? I don't know. Blue is my favorite color, but it doesn't really go with that. Maybe I'll save it for the next video. You guys can tell me what you think is better, green or blue. Maybe I'll find another red. Yeah, I think that's fine. We don't have to do that today. I can show you in my next video. Okay, so let this dry for a little bit. Oh, I still need more of this. Oh yeah, I still have enough. stretch my fingers. Okay. Yeah, I don't want to rush, so I'm gonna let this dry for a few minutes. You guys, I found another piece. Yay! Oh my gosh. Okay, so I also had this one, but this doesn't have the texture. I don't even know why I have it. I usually don't buy. Oh yeah, I remember I did Christmas cards a few years ago and I needed like a night sky, but it's also doesn't work. So I think I'm gonna go with the red because I just like it. Usually I don't use red a lot, but I try to get out of my comfort zone and not always use blue. Okay. And then I'm gonna put like pockets or something, so it's not gonna be all red. There's still gonna be some stuff covered up. Okay, so let me put this over here and we can get the trimmer. So I need to cut it to 9 by 6, but I'm gonna cut it 1/8 shorter, so it's not the exact size. Okay, so 9 minus 1/8, and then we're gonna cut 6 inches minus 1/8. 1 and 6 inches minus 1/8. 2. Okay, this should fit, hopefully. Let's see if this is the same. Uh-oh. What? I cut it wrong. Why did I cut it wrong? All right, I cut it wrong. Maybe I'm not supposed to use this color. So I'm not gonna glue the cardstock on today. Let me know, guys, what you think I should do. Use the red. I mean, I can still make it work. This blue, this green, or the dark blue, because I have no idea. Maybe I should just go for it and not even think about it. Trim off some of those threads. Okay, so now we are gonna glue this in here. Yes, we are filming and we are in frame. Again, I'm using Fabri-Tac. I probably could get away with our glitter glue, but I've done everything with Fabri-Tac, so I'm just gonna keep going with it. And for the corner, I'm gonna worry about the corner later. And then I'm just gonna push this in so it's really tight out here, because you don't want it to be like wool, flappy and floppy. Okay. That works. You have to figure out how you want to do your corner. Some people cut it off. I tried that, but then you could actually see the corner like of the chipboard, which I didn't like. So now I'm just folding them up somehow so it fits in here. Yeah, I put way too much glue on here. Yeah. Hey, stick, please. Now it's all bulky here. Ugh, goodness, now I have all these threads stuck to my fingers. Oh, I'm so excited. I only have one more day to work this week because I took Friday off so I can craft, because I always have to make sure that I don't get like reach my limit of vacation time, because we can only accrue so many hours, and then we have to take time off, and I don't want to stop accruing because that means I lose my hard-earned vacation time. So now I decided every once in a while I'm gonna just take Friday off so I can craft and enjoy peace and quiet at home. Alrighty. So I'm still planning on making a journal for a giveaway when I reach 500 subscribers, but like lately I've been stuck for the longest time. I've been stuck at like 339 subscribers, not visitors, subscribers. It was so funny because there were weeks when like per week I would get so many more subscribers, and all of a sudden I'm like stuck. I'm like, what is going on? So who knows how long it's going to be until we reach 500, but I will not forget. Ugh. Come on, I'm just help. One more side and then we're done. And I'm also excited for the next design team project for Line.Arrow, which should happen the middle of the month, I think. Yeah, I don't know yet what of her digi kits we're gonna use, but I'm looking forward to it because I already have an idea. Okay. I'm just gonna fix these two corners here. And then I'm gonna go upstairs and scrub my fingers and go to bed because it's already late. This takes quite some time. So this video is probably gonna be super long, but I can't help it. I don't rush these things. Okay, so I think that's fine. Oops, now I can finally close my glue. Oops, ta-da-da-da! This is the front. And then you open it, and it's ugly. And then you close it, and it's pretty again. I like it. So, sister one, sister two. And in my next video, we're gonna hopefully put the cardstock in here, and then we're gonna start putting our signatures together. So thanks so much for watching, guys. I hope this helped you, give you ideas for how to make covers like this that are super thick and sturdy but still stitched around, and fabric and all kinds of things. So yay, I hope you like it as much as I do. And I will talk to you in my next video. Bye, guys.